You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 418 of Lee Central's favorite podcast. Jeremiah Morrell here, joined by short-term co-host Mr. Bones.
Howdy.
Short-term because you're gonna go do your service to the children of America.
Correct.
Gonna go deliver packages during the holiday season.
It's time to go be a holiday employee.
Time to go make
Santa?
double the money for the next couple months.
Santa's
Going to be a very wealthy man.
Oh,
you
don't want that. You watch that episode of The Office when Kevin sits on Steve Carell's lap? Yeah, no, that'd be us.
Mr. Zach is here. Welcome, buddy.
Good evening.
Haven't seen you since Sunday.
Yeah. Almost a different state.
Almost. We did go to a different state together.
We did, yeah.
We visited Kentucky on Saturday. Went over for lottery tickets, alcohol, and cigarettes, and came back with the kids.
Which is literally all Kentucky offers right there,
right
across that bridge. Yeah.
It's all available right there.
It's just a bridge to sin. It's my favorite.
No brothel. I was surprised. I thought
that's the only thing that's missing over there. Yeah. It's the only thing missing.
And Brian Nichols is here.
Howdy. Good to see you.
Of the Brian Nichols Show.
Yes.
Our sweet mate here.
So say I'm your friendly neighbor.
In beautiful Newcastle, Indiana. Glad you're here. Today's show, we're going to talk about what, Mr. Bones?
We're going to talk about Thomas Massie. Got a big win for him. Indiana. We're going to not talk about redistricting.
They're not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
They had some sort of little rally at the Statehouse on Tuesday. Newcastle has a new law. Jeremiah's probably a little pissed about.
This is Zach's opportunity to explain what happened.
And then cord cutting news. Disney and YouTube, they're back together again.
Yeah, they've solved their problems. And we've got some late breaking news we're going to get to here in just a moment as well. That's not even on the note. Something happened. There's been a development. This show's about our lives in rural Indiana. We're going to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you, other times we'll make you laugh, but hopefully you'll always learn something new. Mr. Bones, we got to say thank you to some folks. Who would they be?
Those great individuals would be Jonathan Phillips over at Great Lakes Honda in Fishers, Indiana.
Yay.
Blake Reese over at Varsity Outfitters. Tommy Oakes over at Walnut Ridge RV. Morrell Monument Cleaning.
Hey.
And Pops Recycle.
Hey again. Those folks all sponsor our Patreon. Which is how this show gets on the air each and every week. They get super served. They get the notes. They get the RSS feed sent directly to them by email. They got a private RSS feed where they get a great version of the audio dropped in directly for them. They get to be in the Facebook group and watch and participate in the show. Patreon was extra long, an extended version tonight. It's not a bad thing, Brian. We super served the audience.
Oops.
And it was the NFL review, a midpoint review in the year.
Something I could actually intelligently discuss outside of what usually is discussed, like NASCAR or F-150,
or IndyCar or sprint cars, all that,
all them cars,
all the motorsports of Central Indiana.
I was going to NASCAR it out, but all those other ones,
yeah. So we had a good time, and it's worth the listen. You want to be a part of that part of the world. That's what gets us on the air. So all this stuff that you guys enjoy that we put out there for free. That happens because of the Patreon. So if you can help us out over there, that ensures the future existence of the show.
It is giving season, people.
And
you are the future.
We cranked up the heat in here today too. We're all the way up to 68.
Ooh,
68 degrees. You don't have to be so bundled up.
Did you see my little heater over there?
No, I did not.
Oh, yeah. So I usually keep the big heat at 64, and then I have like one little space heater over there, and it usually gets it to like 66 when I turn it on. So
big time.
But this is usually closed off, so it's dark in here, and there's no light, so I have all that on my side.
All right. So the late breaking news, I don't want to bury the lead here. We had a very detailed episode with the the developers for the Henry County Data Center. The Henry County Planning Commission had a meeting tonight, and they successfully navigated the Planning Commission. So a lot of data centers been going down around the state and around the country. This one survived 3 weeks ago. They had a meeting at Memorial Park. The idea was tabled. And then they came back today. Planning Commission members asked more questions, and it passed 7-1. So the next step will be, and listen, if you got a 7-1 approval in this county, pretty good. So the next step, the final hurdle for the parcel to get the zoning they need is they will go before the county commissioners now. And that would be as long as they get at least 2 votes there, then they would be good to go. So that'll probably be on the next commissioners meeting. So the next week or 2, we should know what happened.
Wow.
And one of the commissioners is on the planning commission and voted yes. So they pick up one more, they're good. They'll be set. So
where's the idea for it to be located? I forget.
At 109 and 70.
Okay.
Between basically right behind the truck stop next to the interstate.
Yep. Wow. So that'll be a different site to see.
I think it's going to look like a warehouse from the explanation we got from the developers when they were with us. It's going to have its own on-site power. They're going to have a closed loop water system, and it should be they're not asking for tax abatements in the community. Should be pretty darn reasonable. So natural gas that's already piped through the site or next to the site. And they're going to pay for all the water and sewer improvements that Knightstown needs.
What about electric? I know that's like the biggest red flag you've always bring up.
The electric that they have is that they're going to do their own on-site natural gas generation. So they're putting in a natural gas station, just like we have here in Cadiz, but newer, modern, and more clean version of it.
Yeah. There's a pipeline that runs very close.
And they've got all the natural gas they need coming through. There's a pipeline that goes from Canada to Louisiana that comes straight through that intersection. Plus the
tap right in. Wow.
So we will see. But it sounds like...
do we know what tenants are being
they will now advertise it, and one of the big ones will probably be who they pursue. But at this point, they're opened up to where they could get Meta, they could get Google, they could have whoever.
They're trying to write the zoning to get the zoning in a place that the community could be happy with it, and then they were gonna build the rules and then pitch. This is what we have to potential tenants.
So as these folks are getting turned away in other places, they'll go, "Hey, there's a shovel-ready site. You have to do it this way."
Right.
So you've got guardrails built in.
And how does this look for revenue to the community?
Significant.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Nice. Good.
For Charles A. Beard schools, there's no EMS service out there now. There was talk today about them potentially putting a EMS building on site for them on the parcel, where they would basically drop $1 million in and build them in a place for ambulances or fire trucks.
Wow.
Definitely trying to be good neighbors on the front end of it. So the developer is a Henry County citizen. Right?
He was the guys on the show, right?
Yeah.
I thought he did a really good job.
Yep. So that's that side.
It's cool.
We'll see where things go. With that out of the way, welcome back, Brian Nichols.
Hello.
You've had a great run on the Brian Nichols Show next door, constantly churning out new fun content.
Busy. Yes, sir.
You were on with us fall of last year, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I was when Clay was here too.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
But had a lot of national politics debate at that time. We've kind of talked a lot of local stuff here lately.
Yes.
But there's this intersection now between local politics and national politics that I thought this would be a great week for us to get into this.
I'm back. Let's do it.
And to see where things go. Mr. Bones, you've had a good week?
I've had a good week.
All right. You getting new tires on the car?
On the car. And we're ready to go.
You got all the headlights worked out?
All the headlights worked out. License plate worked out. Light. I got pulled over last week on the way home from here.
With the headlights?
No. He didn't notice the headlights were on bright the whole time, but he did notice the license plate light was not working.
Rush County or Henry County?
No, state police.
Ooh.
Right outside, right there by 70.
That's true. They'd lurk right there in 3.
Was it JT Burns?
I couldn't remember. It's them. I got pulled over for that too, like a month ago. I've had mine got taken out when I got rear-ended by a guy. I fixed him. But mine just burned out, I believe.
So there's been so much stuff that's happened this week that we're going to see where things land. But I figured we'll start the national conversation. We're going to, our game plan going into this, we have a national news segment, an Indiana news segment, the local, hyper-local news, which is the Zach Burcham segment. And then we're going to clean up some stuff with cord cutting, and then we're going to wrap up with some college football things, just as a palate cleanser for
this may be a complete show.
It's going to be all of the things.
Looking forward to this, aren't you?
The government was shut down. It came back together. We have all services have been restored.
Oh man,
I feel so much better.
I know.
I
was on pins and needles.
Mm-hmm.
Just, what was going to happen? Oh Lord.
And when that happened, the speaker was not swearing in this young lady from Arizona who had won a seat in the House of Representatives. A lot of folks were theorizing that it's because she was going to sign what is called a discharge petition that Thomas Massie had put together to force. This is a weird thing about the House of Representatives. It's almost like a ballot initiative where if you've got enough people that sign a petition, you can force something onto the floor of the House. And she was the deciding vote to force this. So she literally got sworn in and then signed this petition that was going to force the House of Representatives to vote on the releasing of the Epstein Files.
Correct.
She did that.
What was the elapsed time between swearing in and
10 seconds?
Was it? I mean,
literally,
she was right there.
Sworn in and she walked over and signed it.
She was kind of doing the same at the same time.
I mean, I wondered if it was that.
It was on the floor of the House. She walked over and did it. Well, Mike Johnson has sworn her in from up above on the dais, walks over, sees her sign it, and then Thomas Massie comes over and says, "I'm sorry, we did this to you." That was the stage that was set. So they forced this to happen. The Massie held court, I think, with CNN on the steps of the Capitol.
Yep.
Is it Ro Khanna?
Yes,
is the Democrat co-sponsor?
From California.
So those two were like the lead voices and faces of this deal. Trump knew at that point that it was going to pass.
Yep.
So he spent a weekend saying, I think it was the weekend, saying, "Hey, yep, we're in favor of it now."
Yeah.
So he gave permission to all the House to go ahead and go forward with it, and it did. It's like all but one member. I think one guy from Louisiana said no because he was worried about. There's always one. He was worried about something with victims, even though the victims had said yes, they wanted this.
Yeah.
So I went looking at the guy who was the one no vote. What a character!
Everybody's got their. Listen. You think you got to be squared away to be in Congress, but you don't. You just got to win a seat.
I got a shot.
Do you remember there was? I think they're still in Congress. I forget the person, but if you Google it, you'll find them. They were asking a question about, I think it was about Haiti. I forget, and they were worried about putting too many resources on the island because they thought it might get top heavy and flip over. This is a sitting member of Congress who makes laws that you as a citizen have to adhere to.
In general, just watch any congressional hearing about anything remotely scientific or specialized, and you're like, these guys are idiots. Like
technology
related. Yeah, it was technology because they're all 87 years old, and they're like, what is this?
Now, does the Googles know about me?
Yeah.
Yes, Senator 87-year-old man, it does.
Cringe.
So it got through the House. One person voted no. Speaker Johnson implied that he hoped that the Senate would clean things up and fix some stuff that they didn't like.
Couldn't pass him as was. It was dangerous potential.
But he voted for it.
He did.
And all of his leadership voted for it because nobody could be. Massie was in front of the cameras for 2 days saying that I'm pretty sure we're going to pick some people up. Because when he got that petition, people were like, I don't know if this is going through the Senate. And he's like, I'm pretty sure we're going to bully some senators.
Massie had the line of the moment. And
nobody wants to be siding with the pedophile.
Yeah, he's like, you might get Trump's support now, right? But in 2030, it doesn't matter. People aren't going to want to vote for the person who voted for the pedophile.
Yeah.
Yeah, or support the pedophile.
So he did a masterful job of guiding this through.
Oh, Thomas Massie is an underrated champion of just liberty. So great.
And he's... Once it went through the House so damn strong, the Senate didn't want to have anything to do with this.
Yep.
So the Republicans essentially stepped away, and Chuck Schumer walked up to the floor and said, "Oh, no objection. We're just going to let this come through when it goes, right? Yep. Okay. Everybody kept their mouth shut. And literally upon receipt, it just got the stamping of verbal approval of everybody without having to do a damn thing.
Yep.
So as soon as it got transferred over, it went through the Senate. So all but one member of Congress voted for this thing that has been held up for years. And then it went to the president's desk, and he basically had to sign it.
Yep.
So
about damn time.
What did we learn about it?
About the actual files?
Yeah, we haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, well, and we have
30
days. Yeah, so it's going to be a
unless
while.
they decide that there's an active investigation, then they won't get.
Yeah, which I mean, I
which is what Massie has been saying out loud is going to happen the entire time.
Well,
100%.
Didn't Trump order an investigation like last week into Democrats tied to the?
That's what's probably going to slow some things up, I think, because we're not going to find out who Bubba was until
Bubba was a horse.
Does that make it better or worse?
It's not good if you're the horse.
I don't know, but the political cartoonists are waiting.
Oh no! It's like that one part of that one, was it Jackass 3D, the horse?
I was like 3 days late on what that meant. I just saw stuff. I saw I actually call like an expat, a former coworker who now lives in France, and I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." There's gonna be. So what
South Park's gonna love
it.
That.
It finally made my radar when there was a meme. You guys remember the Titanic fatalities from the Titanic, and there was like this blip that was like, there was all the fatalities in 1911, and then it was like 2022, and there was this little six people died. It was the same thing with President Clinton, BJ, whatever's, and it was like 1997, and then it was like, then there was one little blip here with this story. I'm like, oh yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, Dear Leader posted a thing and said the guys from South Park haven't slept in 3 days, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can only imagine.
I was gonna say Chris is loving this. This is content heaven.
Was this all a distraction, Mr. Bones, so that we stop worrying about the shit we talked about last week? Because it comes at you so fast.
It does.
That you cannot keep up. Because we had a whole episode last week with Sean Rao talking about ICE and people, the blowing up of fishing boats off of Venezuela. I want to say Argentina, but that's not the different coast.
Yeah.
That's West Coast versus North Coast of the...
Argentina gets the money, Venezuela gets the bombs.
Yes. Colombia just has the pure magical coffee.
Yes.
Is this all a distraction, Brian?
No, because Massie's not nearly considered a friend of the president. So why would he want to champion a distraction that would help take that spotlight away?
He's true blue, right? He's true blue or true red, whatever. This is his core
true
principles.
Gold.
He's a straight arrow. This is his thing.
Yeah.
And he's finally had his day in the sun because of it. And he stood fast, and everybody coalesced.
And he's been pushing for this. I mean, I think it's just a matter of the timing with the government shutdown ending, with getting her sworn into office being the final vote for the discharge petition, and then just the sequence of events.
The momentum was there.
Yes.
Like it's all anybody talked about during the shutdown. One of the two things people talked about during the shutdown.
Right. Yeah.
And Johnson did a pretty poor job of fighting this all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how do you fight off a cultural narrative that has been dominating internet memes for well over half a decade? Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. I mean, how many times have we seen those memes on the internet, right?
Just Kate Coger's posts every month or so.
Everywhere, though. Yeah, everywhere, right? Like, it's amazing when you think that the Trump administration thought they could just be like, it's a Democrat hoax. We're not going to talk about because that's going to work. When you have Thomas Massie, who's like one of the most rock-ribbed Republicans that's out there, who's not only trying to champion this and say we need transparency, but he's doing so in the most populist manner in the truest sense of the word, right?
He has a challenger in the primary,
and they're spending heavy to try to take him out.
But Massie has also raised more money than he ever has before. He's raised a couple $1 million very recently, and you almost wonder, okay, does this put him on the stage where Mitch McConnell's retiring?
I would love to see that.
Would he say, let's shoot my shot and try to go statewide in Kentucky?
I think not only should he do that, I think if he did that, he would be putting himself in the position for probably not 2028, because is the election for McConnell in 26?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe 2028. Like, I think if he wanted to propel himself into the national conversation, that would help him do that. But maybe 2032. I think it's going to be pretty much guaranteed JD Vance, Marco Rubio, someone in that world for 2024 or 28, excuse me. I think 2032 will be the year that
things are wide open if the Republicans didn't win.
I think so.
They don't win.
The problem being, though, is that I wonder if this is going to be kind of like you had Reagan for 2 terms back to back, and then you had George H.W. Bush for a term. And then it just fizzled out, and you had
the economy went to shit.
Right. I'm wondering if it's going to be something similar where Trump ends, maybe Vance wins, and then just like you can only kick the can so far down the road.
It's interesting. I just, if you're looking at, first of all, Kentucky's 2 senators were Rand Paul and Thomas Massie.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
Brian would move.
Yeah, Kentucky, let's go. Woo! Give me a banjo. I'll start singing bluegrass.
It's only 2 hours away, Zach.
I'll learn how to do the races. Where's
the horse races?
Yeah, the horse races. Teach me. I'll learn.
We'll teach you.
He's gonna be all in on the bourbon. This whole show's moving to Kentucky.
Yeah.
Bones is in. Don't tempt him with a good time.
Yeah. It's like, in those like food shows do like a special edition. It's like, the barbecue version. That'd be my show. It's like the Brian Nichols show. And then just like, a banjo and bluegrass music starts playing behind the logo. Special edition.
I had the wrong button clicked on the chat, so I was looking at overview instead of live chat because Facebook changes every 3 minutes. Craig DeCosta noted that Guam may capsize.
Guam, that's right. Yeah, yeah. It represents us.
It's much smaller. Yes, I mean Guam's an American territory, so we care. That's our jurisdiction.
I don't want it to flip.
Haiti, the hell with it.
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't want Guam to flip.
That's their problem.
That'd be sad.
No good, terrible, horrible week for the president. With the Epstein Files, and then this redistricting push that's come to Indiana started because the president thinks he's going to lose seats, so he wants to reorient some maps and win. We'd had this conversation on the show a little bit, maybe
when Betsy was here, we did. Yeah, when Betsy was here, we did.
They started with Texas and said we're going to redistrict Texas so we can pick up some seats. The governor of California said, if you do that, we're going to redistrict California. And they voted that through in the election where they changed their constitution so they could change.
Yeah.
So Texas and California were kind of considered to be a wash. And then you've got all these other states that are getting pressured to do it. And Indiana's on the list. This week, Texas, apparently the maps were thrown out by a court. So now California's redistricted, but Texas's maps, unless the Supreme Court puts them back into place, that's like a 5-vote hole that Trump's plan is now in. So instead of just leaving it alone, now they're 5 worse than when they started.
I'm running out of popcorn.
So that puts the pressure on Indiana even more to say, okay, now we're 5 behind. We have to redraw the maps in Indiana because we're already we were even. Now we're 5 down. If you get me 2 more seats in Indiana, then damn it, we're only 3 down. And we got to find some in Virginia or North Carolina or Nebraska or somewhere else.
And this is before the Supreme Court has released their ruling on. It's something to do with the way they allocate districts down in the South for racial demographics.
There are some Jim Crow concerns as well with districts.
So if that were to go away, that would change some as well, but this is all obviously with that kind of not being considered right now. So that's why this is such a big red flag.
And it's a massive time crunch because the election's less than a year away.
Yeah.
Indiana has a primary in May, a pretty early primary.
Yeah.
And we have a filing deadline that's coming up in January. So if you want to run for Congress, you need to file in January, but you really need to know what the hell districts even are.
Oh, yeah.
So Governor Braun called a special session and expected all of the General Assembly to be back. They technically were in the window to start the session, but they were supposed to be there the first 2 weeks of December. Organization, we're coming up on the normal session is in January, right? A short session. It's normally the cleanup session. It's 30 days of meeting. Organization day for that was the Tuesday of this week. So our favorite two statewide elected Republicans, Micah Beckwith, the lieutenant governor, and Diego Morales, held a 9-0 rally. And they said, hey, everybody wear your red T-shirts, come down to the Statehouse. We're going to show some support for the governor and for the president, and we're going to pass these maps. 30 people showed up wearing red. 30 people.
That's tough.
And then they took over the local Applebee's.
That's tough.
They made commemorative cookies that said 9-0.
There's nothing exciting about like this to get people rallied around. I mean, I'm not surprised. Woohoo! Let's get our maps redistrict. Woo! Like, who is excited over that? Like, I understand the
president wants it.
Yeah, but okay, that's not exciting. Like, there's nothing there that is like you can at least manifest in your mind a border wall. I'm supposed to get excited over a political map.
We're going to get rid of Frank Mervon in Porter County. So Steelhead Frank's going to go. We kick the bums out, man. Andre Carson's grandma had this seat, and he's got to go too.
The picture from the balcony didn't even look like 30 people.
I was being generous. I counted 30 people that were not media that were wearing red.
I think the quoted amount was about.
If you counted elected officials, it's less than 30 because there were some of the elected officials are in that number.
But there's a picture from the balcony. It looks like they would all fit in this room.
I think we have had them all in this room at one point.
Yeah, might have had more than
they were just staggered.
Yeah,
it was. I just don't. I think people are kind of tired of it. This whole thing. They can't even choose why they're doing it. The governor says he's doing it to support the MAGA
because the president wants it. It's a priority for the president, so he wants to do it.
But the lieutenant, but Beckwith's saying they're doing it to draw. They want fair maps, and he can't. He doesn't want to mention the fact that they drew the maps, that the Republican Party drew the maps that we are currently using.
They drew the maps 4 years ago.
Yeah. So why are they suddenly not fair? And so, but I think that they all understand that if they do this and it's not popular, like the polling all says more than 50% of people don't like this in Indiana, that it could come back to bite them later. But yeah, it's so unpopular.
Senator Good from Terre Haute, Vigo County, had a public open house. To speak at his open house, you had to go up and you had to give your zip code. So only people that lived in his district were allowed to speak. You couldn't have random members of the public. So you couldn't have you couldn't have people bust in, right? So you couldn't have statewide activists come in from either side. 70 people spoke. Not one person spoke in favor of the maps. Couldn't find one. He's still undecided. But the president said he was one of the folks that was against it, even though he's undecided. Because he wasn't. If you're not with us, you're against us. So the president released a list of 5 senators on Twitter or X or whatever his
Truth Social. That's right.
And he put some people on blast by name. And now we've had. I didn't know what a swatting incident was. Until this week. Because I live in beautiful, calm Indiana where nobody gives a damn. But we had now 6 different state senators have had people try to mess with their personal lives, either with folks sending emails in that have caused the police to show up at their house. Senator Kreider, who's been on the show, had some nasty things emailed in trying to screw around with his background. Talking about his history as a law enforcement officer, even though he wasn't a law enforcement officer at the time. There were complaints coming in saying, hey, this had happened. Totally false and not real. So we've gotten to the point where now outside influencers are trying to screw with these folks and basically bully them and intimidate them to where the state police are investigating now. We got a press release today. It was Senator Good, and then yesterday 2 more, and now today 3 more. So we're up to 6 of the 50 senators in the state. Of the 15 that have not clearly said yes or no, a third of them have had incidents against their families, their personal lives.
And the swatting is a serious thing because
super serious.
Because nobody knows what's going on in a situation like that. So what you do is you make some kind of call to the police, and so they not only respond to a home, they send the SWAT team to the house.
Like they're prepared to engage.
They're prepared. And so I think the person's hope is that in the confusion, because there's nothing going on in the house to justify a SWAT intervention, and
you hope they show up at the door and get shot.
Yeah, they're trying to arrange either
violence,
murder by cop, and potentially even with a cop being killed as well. Because I mean, we're in a state where a cleaning lady just got shot through a door, so tensions are kind of high. So yeah, you're hoping that person is either hurt and potentially maybe they live, but they kill a cop, and now they're swirled in all kinds of controversy because of that. So yeah, it's a scary thing for not only the person who's being swatted, but for the police officers who are also getting thrown in the middle of this for no good reason. I think that for him, they said there's some kind of domestic issue or something like that, a domestic dispute, but via email, though, was what I heard.
Yeah, it was via email.
Yeah.
And it was sent into the wrong police department. It was somebody that's not from there, right? Yeah. So it was sent by email to Terre Haute police, even though he doesn't live in Terre Haute. He lives near Terre Haute. So then they had to forward it on to the sheriff's department. And they're like, what the hell? And then they figured it out. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. You can have a whole conversation around whether or not, how militarized the SWAT departments need to be, SWAT teams, and the state police need to be, or the police need to be. But trying to weaponize that against your own elected officials is just unhinged.
We're in a really weird time right now. I mean, you had the assassination of Charlie Kirk. You had the murder of the lawmaker in Minnesota.
The Speaker of the House, right?
Yeah, Speaker of their House. You've had a slew of political shootings. I mean, twice attempted assassinations of Trump. You've had Supreme Court justices have their lives threatened. Justice Kavanaugh, his home was almost arsoned. Josh Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania, his house was burned.
The mansion was
engulfed in flames due to the Israel-Palestinian conflict stances and him being Jewish. So the political tensions right now in the country are at an all-time high. And I forget who mentioned it earlier, but I think it goes to people are just getting so genuinely burnt out. I know we say getting burned out a lot, I'm just getting burnt out and tired. I think people are their dopamine levels are just getting burnt out from getting just activated constantly with breaking news.
The Trump era. It's been the political era since 2016.
See, this is where I get stuck because I was actually just talking about this in my show earlier today. I think 2008 was really when I called it the polite era of politics ended. And I think of it more of that last John McCain Obama conversation. Yes, I understand that most of it was probably, make believe, all behind the scenes. It's all professional wrestling, both teams. But what happened was
the Tea Party rose up.
I was going to say 2008, 2009, the Tea Party really rose up in my home county up in upstate New York when he had, and it was northern New York. You had Dee Scozzafava, who was running for Congress. She was kind of like the moderate, squishy Republican versus Bill Owens, who was going to be the Democrat. And then a guy named Doug Hoffman who ran, and he ran as conservative. Ended up pulling so many votes from Dee that she dropped out of the race, and it was basically the launch of the Tea Party revolution. So yeah, the Tea Party movement happened. Then that was more of a populist but still rooted in principle movement, but it brought in a lot of folks that weren't like that. I mean, brought in the Marco Rubios, it brought in the Ted Cruzes of the world, it brought in the what's his name, Josh Hawleys of the world. So you have a movement, some of these folks, and you have the Trump movement, right, which is much more populist. On the left, you have a response. It's also populist with the Bernie Sanders versus Hillary Clinton.
The Occupy Wall Street crowd.
Occupy Wall Street, absolutely. So you've seen this back and forth on each side, this more populist movement. And I think what's happened is, we always talk about the pendulum swinging, right, from left to right. I think what we've seen is not only is it swung left to right, it's swinging further. Right, from left to right.
You go to an extreme, and then you get we just had Jackson Franklin was a candidate for Congress on the show, and he was on 3 weeks ago. And Jackson, I think, is what the modern Democrats are turning out, and he is very much in that Bernie Sanders flavor. And Jackson has all the passion in the world. And I think there are parts of the country where his message damn hits home. I don't know if that's going to be Central Indiana. And I think the moderate types that we used to elect, when you did have Democrats in charge, the John Greggs, the Frank O'Bannons, the Evan Bies, these are all names you've never heard of, Brian, but they were real.
I believe you. Yes.
They won statewide races in Indiana, the Joe Donnellys. Those folks are more modern kitchen table Democrats, conservative Democrats, blue dog Democrats, whatever you want to say. So that extreme is very much there. There's nobody for the middle 30, 40, 50% of people to go, yeah, this is who I want. You got to choose from binary version of politics that we've put ourselves into. You've got to choose a marginalized libertarian, a mega conservative, or a Bernie bro lefty. Those are the choices you have right now. And people go, I'm not. I'm hell with them. I'm going to be with the 1/3 of people that stays home. I don't want to be a part of it.
Problem is that when you stay home, you still have to deal with the outcomes, right? And this is something that I think New York City is going to learn hard and fast. When you see a literal, I mean, like, not putting words in the guy's mouth, he is a communist light. Like, he is echoing like Marxist sentiments, and that's the new mayor of New York City. I think you're going to see that type of Zora Mandani, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar type of Democrat. They are, Jackson is the representative of what that party is going to become. Because the reality is, just as in the Republican Party, the boomers are dying out, right? So you're going to start to lose more of that old, the old boomer MAGA kind of persona. On the left, you're going to start losing some of those older hippies that grew up in the 60s or that lived through the 60s, right? And you're going to have them replaced with more of these more radicalized left-wing activists versus just a more traditional Democrat. And I do think it is important to have people like Jackson on the show, because it is important to understand that people like Jackson do exist in Central Indiana. There's kind of this perspective that people like him are only from where I used to live in Philadelphia, right?
And there's a portion of his policies that align with a hell of a lot of people. Right. And this is the decision that I think a lot of voters make, is they say, hey, I don't agree with everything that this guy believes in. Right. There's 40% of it I'd throw away. Right. I have no interest in it. But when he talks about the voting the way that he talks about, when he talks about ending wars, when he talks about maybe breaking up some monopolies or some oligarchies that are out there, there's some things that strike with a lot of folks. It's just a matter of how much balance it is. And there's always a segment of people that say, well, throw out the incumbents, period. There's folks that are just fed up with whoever the hell's in charge, so they're going to vote there. So that you're going to get some of those people elected.
Yeah.
But I really think that if you find I really think that you're going to find a hell of a turnout for Bo Bai. Watch what Indiana does this fall or next fall in the Secretary of State's race. And Lori for Liberty, the Libertarian candidate, will be on here. We'll try to invite Bo on, and we'll see if Diego Morales makes it through their primary.
Do you think it's more because Diego Morales has such baggage?
He does, but there are two other candidates that very well may beat him at a convention. But I think from what I've seen in the Bai campaign so far, that pragmatic Democrat that comes off as a reasonable person, there's going to be something there. I think there is.
So kind of like the Andy Bashir in
exactly.
Kentucky. Yeah,
exactly like Andy. Andy's dad was governor as well. Steve Bashir was governor of Kentucky. It's very similar to that. Like, I think that's a perfect model of not the crazy, right? But the folks. Andy is probably very, very appropriate in that he connects to that rural coal country eastern part of Kentucky, but he can also put the suit on and hang out in Lexington or Louisville. I think that's very similar to what we're talking about here. So we'll see where it goes. Back to the Indiana State Senate and their civil war with the governor.
Yeah.
Governor Braun says that he may compel senators to come back. So they voted on Organization Day to not come back until January, even though the governor wants them to come back. They don't have to vote for anything in particular. The Senate maintains that if we don't have the votes to do something, we won't take an issue up. A lot of senators also say we haven't seen a damn map, so what are we coming in for? Everybody says we're going to be showing the maps. Nobody has volunteered to say that they're the ones that are going to draw the map, by the way. That's the part that blows my mind.
I'll draw the map.
There are some maps that are out there, but nobody's like, this is the one.
I actually took a course back when I was in college for political science on how to ungerrymander.
That's not what they're looking for. You're not.
No.
You're not qualified for what they're trying to do.
I'm going to do my darndest.
Send an email in. See what happens.
Hello, I would like to help.
I have drawn this up, and I don't know a damn thing out of these 3 counties in Indiana, so this looks pretty. Can you guys live with this?
There you go. That's right.
And Brian's map will get him 6-4, and they'll go, God damn it, Brian.
In all seriousness, though, like I know I'm the AI guy every now and then, like on this show, but like
I think you Chat GPT this or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like this is a no brainer. This is a perfect use case for Chat GPT or.
But they would have to show their prompt, and their prompt is write us a map in which all 9 seats will be Republican held. And that's what they want. It says, draw me a map that gives an equal representation for state Congress or for our congressmen per our population's political ideologies or voting record or whatever. And they don't want to do that.
If you want to redraw their map, draw me a map that gives me the 9 most competitive congressional races, period. The more competitive they are, the better the candidates you get, the better congressmen we're going to get.
I don't know if that's always the case, though, Jer. Honestly.
Dude, it is.
It's not always. I've seen this in upstate New York where you've had candidates who we've had the tightest of tight elections, and then they end up they still go with whatever the tide goes with.
I think the people, the smart people that should be in Congress won't run because it's unless you live in the right place or you have $500 million like our Congressman Jefferson Shreve does. There's no point in running. There are so few people that even consider running for Congress because they don't have the money, or they live in the wrong spot. If everybody lived in a district that was small enough, say we went from 500 members of Congress to 2,000 members of Congress, right? You shrank the size of the districts down, and you drew maps in a way that it was competitive, so that your target was everything to be within 10, 15 points, so that a good candidate could win anywhere. That was your goal. You would have qualified individuals that would be willing to run. Instead, you get a career politician that ends up with a joker running against them, and once every 10 years, maybe they have a real race because they got redistricted into something that matters.
Yep,
that's an idea. 2,000 representatives, and each state gets 10 senators.
No, keep senators the same. Leave that one the same.
Oh, okay.
Don't screw with that. But adjust the House of Representatives to match the population. We haven't changed the number of House members in ages.
Yeah, I just don't know. I like the idea of trying to clean up the representation. I'm just still not sold on the idea of the way that we have our voting structure in place. So I'm not trying to go into like a whole
women voting. Is that
100%. Yeah, me just get rid of that 19th Amendment. No, I'm
landowners only.
But no, in all seriousness, I am very weary of people voting for those who they themselves do not know how the process works. I know that this sounds, this might sound elitist, this might sound, might sound privileged, but like if you are not able to articulately understand the inner workings of the positions that you are voting for, I don't feel comfortable with that person being able to have an equal vote with somebody who does know that information and has put in the values. Like, I don't have to agree with the person, right? Like, they might have complete different political values from me, but I want them to understand what they're voting for. Like, if you're voting for Speaker of, obviously you're not voting for Speaker of the House, but like you're voting for, you're a member of Congress. Like, what does the congressperson do? Right? Like just the basic stuff. Not just
they don't do a damn thing. They get one vote. At this point, you don't get to do a damn thing.
I'm talking the schoolhouse rock.
No, but that's not how it works.
Right?
Thomas Massie is example. We just spent 20 minutes on it because Thomas Massie actually got something done for the first time in the history of Congress.
Yep.
They actually forced something through.
Well, Congress itself is perpetually broken. I worked on a congressional campaign in 2012, and I remember we were at a big fundraising event with John Boehner, who was at the time Speaker of the House. And
great guy, chain smoker. He used to represent the part of Ohio that's 44 minutes from here.
Even then, Congress was still functional. But it has been so maligned. I mean, continuing resolutions are the name of the game right now. That's partly why you never see any standalone bills. They just continue. I mean, literally, when I say kicking the can down the road, this is a tongue-in-cheek bill name that Thomas Massie used to do every time they do one of these stupid continuing resolutions. You'd say, Mr. Speaker, permission to rename the bill, kicking the can down the road, or when we so choose. Like you would do that every single time. But it's true. This is all it is. Every time we have these continuing resolutions, they just take whatever they have from the previous and they just roll it forward.
They become a must pass and you hang your BS on it. They outlawed hemp.
Yep.
Some hemp
what the
rules
hell,
just changed.
Right? Like
because somebody shoved it in there and you have to vote.
Mitch McConnell shoved it in there, that old turtle. Like even more reason for Thomas Massie to take him out. Take him out of his seat.
One of the things that I think Jeremiah is also saying, and we've had this happen on more a local level than national level, is that like even locally a couple years ago, Republicans were running out of people to run. And so Democrats won't even run. Republicans, the quality of the people that they had running at times was questionable, but they could just pick somebody and they could pick some of the most unqualified people that they could just get warm bodies and they would just get elected because we're in that part of the state where they just get elected without having to worry about it. So if you at least have a competitive race, you'd think that they would go out and find this at least has to be two good people because we can't throw a warm body in the race. But I think it should be representative of the population. I think if you make it so every race is competitive, then that's a level of gerrymandering too. Because some areas are just that's not going to be possible. But
how many counties are there in the country?
In the country,
Indiana's got 92.
But in the country, do we know?
Oh, well, then you got to get into parishes in some states.
Just Louisiana. Okay, off the top of my head, there's
2,500
between Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. There's 300.
3,143.
I believe there are 6 counties in Arizona.
AI says 3,100.
There are 3 counties in Delaware.
I have the accurate number according to Google as 3,244 because they said counties and county equivalents.
So yours says, okay, here's what's great though. Here's what's fantastic. Yours says, so is that your AI overview?
Yeah.
It says how many?
3,244 counties and county equivalents. These include 3,007 traditional counties in 48 states.
So I Googled it, and literally the first sentence of the AI overview, there are 3,143 counties and county equivalents in the United States. Google came and decided in this room.
That's hilarious.
You got different servers.
That's hilarious. And that's actually kind of scary that we got that many different. So Wikipedia, it looks like mine was pulling from. But then looking at yours, it also is pulling from.
Okay, but yeah. Wikipedia shows 3,244. So it's about 31 to 32.
But how many townships?
But then if you scroll down
that's
one
where
more,
the money is.
It's right there. Your answer is there, right? If you scroll down one more from Wikipedia as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I find that funny though that we both because I'm old enough to be a little weary of the AI overview answer on Google because I'm like, this is just fishing stuff out. It doesn't
bad answers.
Yeah, bad answers. But the fact that we both Googled the same question at the same time in the same room and we got 2 different answers is funny.
Is that not America right there? Right? We're all looking at the same questions.
Different perception. But you're wrong.
Same crappy AI answer.
Yeah, Google, man. Google.
Well, I, for one, am pissed off that the Senate said they're not coming back because they stole 4 to 5 weeks of story from us by not coming back. But maybe they will.
It's like Indiana's shut down.
The speaker of the they weren't supposed to be in anyway, Brian. They're trying to save us some money.
Yeah. By the way, I'm just gonna say the Texans helmets are hideous.
Yeah, the Texans.
They're like Power Rangers. They look like the Red Power Rangers.
The Texans have no good histories. They're trying to invent a history. They're
like, we are the Oilers, but not really the Oilers.
The Oilers are stuff in Tennessee.
I know, still tight. The Titans.
The Memphis Oilers. I don't know.
Oilers.
Do they not have? I bet they don't.
Houston Oilers.
They probably don't own the rights to that, do they?
How far back are you going with Memphis?
They played when they moved from Houston. They played in Memphis for a year, and they were the Tennessee Oilers in Memphis.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh. I remember Warren Moon was like the one player who had his jersey played for both teams, right?
I don't think he did. I think after him, Steve McNair.
Yeah. Okay.
Steve McNair was in both. Yep. Warren Moon was probably a Viking at that.
Yeah.
That's
I recall him as a Viking.
He was
I don't
like
recall
43.
much.
He was like
Warren Moon
Joe
was a,
Flacco of the day.
Well, yeah. Warren Moon was back in the 80s with the Oilers. That was his first good team. This is the Patreon portion of the show.
Sorry, guys. Vinny Testaverde. You want to keep on going?
Everywhere.
Let's go. Yes, he did.
Played for the Cowboys.
He played for the Cowboys, the Jets, the Browns, the
He was a
Buccaneers.
journeyman.
So Bernie
Played for the Patriots.
Yeah.
No, Warren Moon, I think he had a stint even with the Chiefs and maybe the Seahawks. All right.
Definitely the Seahawks. I don't remember the Chiefs.
Subscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah, you can get all the nerdery over there. Zach, Newcastle disappointed you.
Yeah, they did.
And all of us this
shocked me, actually.
I'm on the fence at this. I need to hear both. I need to hear the argument.
Okay.
I don't live here, so
this is a process problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Help me understand.
So Monday night, the city council had a meeting, and the way their meetings are organized is that they have a public comment section in the beginning of a meeting,
Very beginning.
and then they get into their ordinances, and then they have their city council people all have a round table to bring up whatever they want to bring up.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, first it's general comments or any presentations. Then they do what I call around the council, which is when the council people have their chance to say anything about what's been going on or things they've heard or whatever. And then they go to what I would call official business. And so I missed a bunch of meetings because of cross country and being out of town or whatever. But I was at the last meeting, and there was no mention of any upcoming complaints. Or a lot of times I'll have somebody come in, have a complaint, and they'll say, well, yeah, come back the next meeting. We'll draw up an ordinance.
An ordinance to solve the problem.
Yes. But there was no mention of this problem at the previous one. So then they drop an ordinance where it's targeting street parked RVs of any sort. They ramble all of them off. And they've gone from, I think, just a standard rule of your vehicle has to move every 10 or 30 days. I think it's 30 days, actually, but it has to move every 30 days. To now, any recreational vehicle parked on a street or right of way in the city can spend a maximum of 72 hours parked in city limits in a 30-day period. And
on a street
or right away. Because I am
you parallel park your vehicle.
I am so tangentially close to having an issue with this because I literally park my camper parallel parked against a fence. And the last time they paved my road, which is, I'm thankful for that, a couple of years ago, the road got widened a little bit and my camper literally is on the edge of the road. Like if you drove with your mirror hanging off the edge of the road, you're going to clip my camper. I'm that close to being street parked, but I'm not. And I'm like, whoa, where did this come from? And they kind of went into a little bit of story. But then what they did was typically they have to read a ordinance 3 times, vote on it 3 times. Sometimes if it's a very clear and well supported and nobody's going to argue about it, they'll suspend the rules. And so they can suspend the rules and they can skip and they can do all 3 of those readings in one session. And that's what they did. So this rule got introduced. I had not heard it discussed at all prior. And I might have missed a meeting. Maybe it got mentioned a month ago or whatever. I didn't hear it though. But it went from not being a topic last meeting to being introduced, minimal discussion, passed on 3 readings, done in the meeting.
And no public comment.
No public comment because the public comment's at the beginning and
before the ordinance was introduced.
Before the ordinance. So I couldn't even have a chance to I'll say this. Maybe because they kind of know who I am and I was one of the 3 people in the audience, I could have said, hey, what's going on with this, whatever. But technically I shouldn't because it's not public comment time. But I was like, what the world? I'm like, could they come after me? And then, like I said, they went into some stories about there's certain rigs that they have a problem with.
They're trying to put an ordinance in to deal with certain issues.
Yeah, I was going to say, help me understand the why behind it.
So there are 3 motorhomes parked near a men's shelter about a half mile from here that are just don't belong to anybody in those neighborhoods. And they're just abandoned, or not. They're not abandoned. One of them I've seen drive in the last month, but it's got half the windshield is shattered. And the other one I know used to sit in an apartment complex on the other side of that block. And then a year or 2 ago, I think they got told by the apartment complex, you can't park here anymore. So they've moved it a block over. And I guess they say they'll move them 10 feet every 10 days. Like I said, the one I've actually seen get driven around a little bit, but they're in rough shape. And so they feel like these have just been abandoned and they're trying to find a way to deal with them. And then they had a story about a camper that somebody just abandoned in the road because they didn't want it anymore. I can sympathize with that person. I haven't had to deal with that myself, but I know Jeremiah's dad has, where insurance company will total your camper and they'll give you a check and then you're like, are you coming to get the camper? And they're like, not my problem. And they'll just leave you with the total camper and you have to figure out what to do with this. So somebody just abandoned one. This didn't apply to that. But
so my concern is that if you're a weekend camper, you're going to get screwed by this.
Yeah. So the 72 hour. So yeah, I wish they would even just ask me and said, because not everybody, most people in that room know I have a camper. No, I'm a frequent camper. So 72 hour rule. And you could potentially have 5 weekends in a month. If you bring your camper home one day before you leave and plug it in more than 3 times in a month, you're going to violate this law. If somebody complains. Now, that's going to be the argument they're going to say, well, if nobody complains, it won't be a problem if you're not in the...
Yeah, but why do you set up an ordinance that only gets applied to somebody?
Yeah, so then you get into just, well, why can pass any law? We won't enforce it on you. Well, how does that work?
This council won't.
Yeah.
The next one might.
And then
the next, you get one city building inspector
or you just
that gets a burr up their butt.
Just gets your neighbor. And so, the funny kind of story where this happened, and I shouldn't have laughed, but I did at the time, was that a similar story. Somebody did come in and complain. They said, our neighbor's got like 6 cars. He wants to park in a certain way so his cameras can see his cars. He's a long haul trucker. He's gone all the time. And then they said, and they asked for this law and they passed the law. That one was a little more sculpted than this one. And then when they passed it, the last reading, and that one did get read 3 times in 3 different meetings. So a month and a half to get the original couple that came back, heard the 3rd reading and got to hear what the ordinance was. And then they were a little bit scared because they themselves were in violation of the ordinance in which they had asked to be written, because they had 6 cars parked on the street and this guy had 8. So these 2 people had 14 cars parked on the street. And it was something like literally, it was that crazy of a number. Because I think the ordinance they wrote was,
hey man, the county's getting a wheel tax on all of them. Stop your bitching.
Yeah, well, because I think in their car lot. But so I was just like,
oh boy, taxes.
Like, I would love to have had like a chance to say, okay, is there a better way of writing this, or is there a different tactic to this? Because even before they even passed it, they were talking about, well, if this doesn't work, we can just shorten it. We can like either shorten the 72-hour rule, or we can extend it to 30, 60, 90 days with the 72-hour rule.
I ran it through GTP, and what I came up with is they could have said if they could allow for 72 hours and be gone a minimum of 48. And not be there for more than 14 days.
That would have made more sense.
So that would have allowed your weekend camper to still have their camper to load and unload on the day or 2 before they go for a weekend or a trip of whatever sort. And you can't be there more than 14 days. So you can't be living in it.
Yeah. And they said there's already rules against that. If the building inspector finds a camper that's all hooked up to, like, it's got the water running to it and electric run to it, he can go after that person already. There's already ordinances in place. I even wondered if you could just, and this is one of those things where I get to, there's a slippery slope. Can you just not tell people you can't abandon a vehicle nowhere near your residence? Like, if we see this vehicle, because where these motorhomes are parked, there are no houses on either side of the road. It's between an old field for a high school and the armory. So there's no houses right there. If they just say, if we pull up and see it, run your plates, and you live 4 blocks away, you need to move this. You can't make this somebody else's problem to just abandon it here. But I get that that's a lot of this is just, I don't know, find a way to deal with these people, or ask them, do you want us to help you dispose of this and get out of here? Because the one they're all class A's, huge shattered windshield.
Well,
I don't know how they drive.
We talked last week. I mean, you can take a camper loan out for 20 some years, but maybe they're not paid off, Zach.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're all older than that. They're all actually older than that. I know the one I am
50-year mortgages.
The one I am pretty sure, because of running by the place, it was sitting in an apartment complex that's on one street over, so like 15th to 14th Street. It was
at the point.
It was
in the apartment
complex that's behind. It's kind of behind there. There's a different one that's on back behind the funeral home. And so if you're on 14th, you see it. It used to be parked there. I bet that the landlord said, you can't leave this motorhome here. It looks terrible. And so he just moved it 1 block over, and there's nobody there to complain about it. It's not in front of anybody's house. So he probably thinks, hey, it's not bugging anybody.
I think this just suspending the rules just for shits and giggles is a problem.
I don't mind it sometimes, but this is one where I was like, what the world? Like, I mean, I was sitting there, and even another person that's a frequent person at the meetings turned around and was like, bet you'll word like, I think you're okay on yours, aren't you? Or something like that. And then I messaged one of the council people afterwards, and they were like, yeah, I wasn't really super fond of that, and I should have said something.
Oh my God.
But
what would you say you do here, councilman?
I just didn't understand what the urgency was, except that there's 3 campers that aren't actually.
Let's have the conversation.
They're ugly. They're ugly where they're sitting. I ran by them the next day. I was like, because I wasn't sure about where the shelter was, and I asked somebody. I was like, "Is this what I think it is?" And like, yeah. So I ran by there. I'm like, they're ugly, but they're not actually bugging anybody. If they're abandoned, then take them and burn them. Who cares? But there's a certain point where you're just, I don't know what you do. Like,
you don't want vehicles with flat tires sitting on the streets, right? That stuff, when that happens, that's a problem.
Take it to one for having to, like, say that they need to be in good working order without any broken glass. And then the one with the windshield is going to be a problem because it's a huge issue there. But I've seen him driving around
on the roads, right?
No, I've seen him driving.
And also, like, you say nobody's being harmed, but if like I'm a property owner, and I have this piece of shit sitting out in front of my house. It's like in Christmas Vacation when Uncle Eddie comes to visit. Like that doesn't necessarily improve my property values.
Here's the thing, though:
if you're trying to sell your house,
I know, but
right?
If it's next to a school,
and not to defend it, and not to defend the person.
As long as it's next to government property, who cares, Brian?
3 people. It's not in front of anybody's house. They specifically picked a spot where. It's the old, for people in Newcastle, it's the old 7th grade building, which used to be the high school back in the day, and it's next to their track. So it's next to their old football field or whatever, which wasn't full size. So it's next there. It's got a field behind it, or directly next to it, and then across the street is the yard for the armory. So it's in between 2 areas. So there might not be a house within 50 yards of either one of them. Of any of the 3, because they're just in a weird spot where you can tell the guys, these people, you can tell kind of thought, well, I'm going to move this where it's not going to bug anybody. But then 3 of them did it.
Zach,
but yeah,
you should feel empowered enough as a member of the media and as a frequenter of the council meetings to speak up. And I guarantee that if you had spoken up, a council member or 2 would have paused and gone, we need to take a minute. I think you could change this if you speak up then, and hell, even if you send an email in now.
Yeah,
I think they could revisit this because I think this is poorly written.
I do too. Was it because in the fact that they were immediately like, well, if this doesn't work, we can make this even stricter. I'm like, this doesn't need to be any stricter. And it's one of those things where I'm trying to figure out. Sometimes you're
trying to achieve a certain goal, but you're theoretically you're gonna sweep other people up in this. You don't want to.
Because I instantly knew somebody, and I was like, "Didn't your neighbor keep his on the street?" And he's like, "Yep." And it wasn't a rundown rig. This guy just didn't have a driveway to stick his camper in. Be a little camper parked on the side of the street, wasn't in anybody's way, wasn't blocking anybody's view. Mine's probably more in the way for some people than a lot of people, and mine's off the street. So yeah, it was just one of those things where I was like, why are we even suspending the rules on this? It's not like some crazy. Usually when they suspend the rules, it's something it's like we're giving up, like there's old alleys, and like we're giving up the alleys to the people that live adjacent because I forget what they're doing, that they're relinquishing a right of way. So there's like an old alley nobody uses anymore. So we're giving it to the people that live nearby. And we're getting rid of it. I don't know who cares if they're all there and they say, "Yep, this is what we want." Good, suspend the rule, roll through it. Yeah, I was like, this wasn't even discussed the prior meetings. I didn't know where it came from.
Mr. Bones, do you have a thought? Or is this so mundane you've died inside?
No, Rushville's a better place to live. We don't have these problems.
Wow.
No, I know. There's a business I go by on the way out of one side of your town. There's always just, and I think they're hilarious, but there's like random jalopies just sitting outside this one shop, but they're cool jalopies. Volkswagens.
Oh no, the performance shop there.
Yeah, but they'll have just random half-built cars sitting outside.
Yeah, they do like auto tuning and stuff in there.
But this probably exists in every town because it is Cousin Eddie's kind of rig situation.
You don't want to be California. I'm sure Brian is thinking of Oakland, California, where people buy motorhomes and sit on the side of the road, and they just they live there because you can't afford to live anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, people literally live out of like their vans and stuff. And I get it, like homelessness, and I get that tough times happen. But like,
you can be poor, just don't be poor here, right?
Exactly. Not in my street.
NIMBY, man, NIMBY.
But like there is a fundamental difference that like there are people who they do not want help, and I think there is a misunderstanding of conflating all homeless people in one lump, where there are those who 100%, they're down their luck. They've gone through some horrible instance of like domestic violence or something like that, where they need to get out, but they don't have a place to go. They lost a job, whatever it may be. But that is not the rule. I would say, there's also, for every one of those, there's also the drug addict that does not want help. Or somebody who has severe mental issues who they need to have like someone step in and actually like take them off the street. There's a lot of folks who do have issues on the streets that are not just, tough on their luck.
Mr. Bones, are you a YouTube TV customer?
I am.
Likewise, by the way.
I think we all are. All four of us. All four of our houses are in the Google verse.
I even got an NFL Sunday ticket.
At least because you're
Cowboys. YouTube, right. YouTube TV, reach out if you want a sponsorship.
Yeah, we will put your logo up right there.
We'll thank you on Patreon.
We will replace Presley Sora Racing with the big Google G up there. Yeah. We'll move Presley somewhere. The national nightmare is over. The government's back together. And
everybody is playing very nicely along with each other.
Disney, the mouse, and the Google company that said don't be evil, they're all good. And you figured out how to apply for your $20 credit they didn't automatically give to you?
Yeah, no. I tried.
They didn't give it to you automatically?
They didn't. No. You have to apply for it.
You have to go to a certain you have to go in on a desktop site and go to settings and go in and ask for your credit. You have to drill down.
You can't do it on the app.
It ain't easy.
Oh.
You have to do it on the actual computer.
The way my wife was talking, I thought it just happened.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And you have to the class action suit will take care of it and you'll get 50 cents back in 10 years. But if you want your $20, you need to go drill down and do it by like December 7th or 10th or whatever.
Which is like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be in a couple weeks. As a part of them making up, they have added the feature that you now get ESPN Unlimited with your service.
Do you have to sign up for this?
What is?
Yes. So if you have the show notes, there's a link to the instructions.
Fuck me.
To how to get it done. But it's not going to be through the YouTube TV app. It's through ESPN's deal. But you have the full library of all of ESPN stuff. So all the ESPN Plus and all that junk that was there. So you'll be able to watch your Ball State Mac girls volleyball at any time, Mr. Bones. It is included in your service.
That sounds so perfect.
You like those outfits?
I was going to say, you had to go full creepy on.
You like those uniforms there, Mr. Bones?
The girls playing at Worthen Arena.
Where'd you get that nickname, Mr. Bones? Mr. Bones.
Why do I have to keep signing up for stuff? Just give it to me.
It is really annoying that you have to go not through the app. You had to go through the website to get your rebate or whatever for your I'm sorry, and then you have to go through this other thing. You are like one of the most powerful companies on earth.
This is why I went to you in the first place, because everything was so easy.
Listen,
and I had to do all this.
Listen, this is stuff you didn't get before, and now you have access to it. If you don't want it, as I try to scroll down and read the damn thing, it's like sign up to this website so you can read it.
See, I'm perpetually stuck between I miss the being able to just like go into one pane of glass and have access to everything. Like if you could take the environment that was cable TV and you were to incorporate the channels as you do with like a like an app like a Netflix or a Hulu or what have you, Disney or YouTube, and have them also as like a channel guide. I know it's not feasible, but that would make it so much more enjoyable. Like other than that, the only thing I really enjoy the streaming apps for is when I'm on the road, is that I can just go ahead and
it's portable.
Log in.
In my camper, I have my DVR and I can watch my camper wherever I put it, because I have a router in there that thinks it's sitting in central Indiana. I can watch my Colts if I'm sitting in Pennsylvania in my camper. It magically thinks I'm at
I am impressed at times by the integration between services, because like there's ways you can kind of tack your like Amazon, YouTube TV, and whatever other like services to like if you buy a movie, and they'll all link up, and I can go in like I've got all the Lord of the Rings extended editions because I had some free time last winter. I bought those on Google Play, but I can go into like Prime and it'll let me watch them because it knows, oh yeah, you own these to Google.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, oh, so that could happen. I know so they would be nice if like they would just say
an everything app almost.
Yeah, I look like I got this, or at least just say, okay, I can buy it over here. It's a better deal. But oh yeah, we understand you own this, so we're gonna let you watch it, whatever. But yeah, everything's so fragmented.
You'll log in through the app or the website, ESPN app, and then it's just like when you have to authenticate, saying, "Oh, I get this channel." You select your Google account, you continue, you link your ESPN to your Google account.
See, this is the stuff. I mean, this is where agentic AI actually could come in handy, because think about it. Like, if you had a little AI assistant and you were like, "Hey,"
you got a wife for this, Brian.
you can say that one out loud.
Staff it out.
Brian just saw his life flash before his eyes.
I'm not gonna say a word for that one. Just put that one right there, and you're gonna carry that one.
Our
forward.
Wives are gonna go watch a movie and plot against this.
That's right. I was gonna say.
Literally saw Brian's brain just come to a screeching halt about like I have to think very quickly about what the next words out of my mouth are.
I have to be very tactical what I say next. Yeah, I digress. Continue.
You click the watch icon and you can start watching. That's how it goes.
Yep.
So, it's free for now. My prediction last week is that when the next renew comes up we're all month to month with Google. 2 months from now, they're going to go, actually, that $82 plan is going to be $103.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they got a bump.
Yep.
I miss my $35 YouTube TV. I really don't care about the sports as much. Like, I mean, you guys are like in the sports, but I feel like give me back the $35, and you can even send me a list. And I'll send you. Oh, here's 150 channels I don't give a dang about, which will probably take.
That's everybody, man.
Which will take 62 cents off my bill.
I need 9 of the channels, maybe, and 7 of those are for sports, and 2 of those are because Sarah wants to watch Bravo.
See, in the truest of like the Patreon, like the only sport I really care about is football. So I'm only watching the NFL. So we cancel.
If you want to watch all the NFL, though, you've got a real problem. You need Amazon.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
You need.
But I'm saying we cancel our YouTube TV from
5 months out of the year,
March through like September. So because I don't need it for normal channels. We watch just normal YouTube or Netflix or we are not supposed to, but we're on my wife's parents' accounts, like stuff like that. So
it's just your one hitter,
calculator, arsonist,
your one hitter there, buddy. Your chair didn't break. When you leaned back like that, I thought we were gonna have a redo of last week.
Dude, I was sitting at my desk the other day, and somebody was in the garbage can trying to take that chair out to see if they could like use it. And I'm like, pretty sure it's broken, and they just like threw it back.
Broke the metal on it.
Yeah. Okay, real quick story on that. I was here 2 nights ago because I brought the chair out to the road the night that it broke. I was here Sunday night, and I showed up and I drug the chair to the road, and I'm like, I don't know when trash day is here, Brian.
It's Monday.
The trash was out. I had left it out there, and one can was out, and I was super confused. So I drug it back in because the chair was gone. Somebody did take the chair out over the weekend, and it was gone. Somebody scrapped it, took it, whatever.
Oh.
And I'm like, where the hell did all these other cans come from that are in the bottom of the trash? Like, they didn't come out of the can. So I'm like, whatever. I drug it back over. But yeah, somebody pilfered the chair over the weekend and took it.
Oh.
The trash did not take it. Somebody walked off with it.
I mean, if they could weld.
Yeah.
Like, I inspected the chair afterward, and it actually, there's like a piece of steel that the legs screw into, and not right next to that, but it literally broke the metal. Like, it sheared.
Go back to
metal.
Patreon last week, and you hear Zach nearly died.
Oh my gosh! Just about took
his chair broke on the air.
Just about took the board out. 2 computers. Yeah. There's pictures. There's also I think there's pictures in Patreon. Maybe I put them in a group chat. I can put them in Patreon. They're not that interesting, but yeah, I broke the chair.
Curse snap.
Yeah.
College football playoff is out. There have been some changes. There were some big upsets. Indiana is now the 2 seed.
That's awesome.
Theoretically, they would get a home game. I'm sorry, it'd be a bowl game immediately. They don't get a home game. They would go into one of the bowls. So IU would be
they still 2. Undefeated?
They are undefeated.
Awesome.
They are now 11-0, which is what they. When they were 9-0, it was really kind of funny because that's what they were trying to do with these electoral maps here in Indiana. And now they're 11-0, so it blows that map out of the water. The projection right now would be Alabama and Oregon facing each other in Oregon, and the winner would go play Indiana. Indiana's already beaten Oregon once. And then you would be on a collision for the finals to be, if it held true, for the national championship between Ohio State, and probably Georgia. Or I'm sorry, that would be the semifinal to play against Indiana. So the teams on the Indiana side of the bracket right now: Alabama, Oregon, Miami, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Indiana. One of those would theoretically go to the final game. The other side of the bracket is Tulane and Texas Tech. Tulane would have to win their division because they're not that. They're just there because they're lucky, because they're the best of their shitty conference. Notre Dame or Oklahoma, and then Georgia and Ohio State.
Did Syracuse ever end up continuing their success they had earlier in the season, or no?
No, they lost to North Carolina and the wheels fell off.
Okay.
That's not a good loss either.
No. Belichick. North Carolina.
Poor Bones even has to admit, not a quality win at all.
Not a quality win.
Nah.
Oh, man. That's rough.
Belichick did announce this week that he is not interested in the New York Giants job. He loves the Giants organization so much.
I, too, am not interested in the New York Giants job. I like to refuse jobs that I was not considered for as well.
Bill was busy going to his girlfriend's champion.
Dude, okay. I'm sorry. That relationship makes me so uncomfortable, even more so than the Leonardo DiCaprio, whenever 19-year-old he's with for the day. But like
more so than Epstein Island shit. Right, equal.
That's
I'm just trying to figure out your discomfort level, Brian.
I mean, Epstein Island shit. That's
trying to figure out where the line
underage children.
All right.
At least his girlfriend is old enough to be an adult. However,
and old enough to be his granddaughter.
See, and that's the part. Like, I always do the like take the person minus the other person's age, and that's how old that person was when the other person was born. And I'm like, dude, you were in your 40s when she was born. That's gross. That's just weird. I get it. Like, love is love. Like, just no. I'm sorry.
He was getting AARP pre-mailers when she was born.
Oh, he was taking ibuprofen for bad knees.
Yeah,
already. I've been doing that for 10 years.
I didn't take Tylenol.
I would feel uncomfortable dating somebody her age
now.
And
what do you talk about? What do you relate to?
What do you do?
Yeah.
Not only talk about.
Bill is uniquely qualified to relate to people of her age because he's been coaching people of her age for 50 years.
He just talks like this. I didn't want to do anything today.
He's perpetually into 25-year-old. And his head's in the space of 25-year-olds. He probably can play Fortnite. I don't know, man.
Bill Belichick playing Fortnite.
Take that, kid.
Him and Leonardo DiCaprio going up to the same dating pool.
Oh God, they just both are the guy, the Matthew McConaughey. That's what I like about high school girls. I keep on getting older; they stay the same age.
All right.
Mr. Bones,
ew.
You think it's better for IU to be the 5 seed and have taken a loss and get to play a game at home, or do you think it's better to just skip all the campus games and go directly to the bowl games?
You don't want to take a loss.
You just want to go straight on through. You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose the Big Ten championship game to Ohio State and get to be the 5 seed and have a game at home. No, you want to have the easiest path.
And those seedings technically, if all 4 bye teams win out, that they lose in their conference championships, those seedings do not change.
They won't change.
Yeah.
So Indiana could lose to Ohio State and not lose their spot.
And then Texas A&M could lose to Georgia and not lose the spot.
Georgia has to play Georgia Tech Thanksgiving weekend, and that's going to be a tough game for Georgia.
Are you going to the game this year?
I am not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. It's in Atlanta, man. That is a dangerous city.
Yeah, I was going to say, come armed.
So is Morristown.
Final thoughts, Mr. Zach?
I haven't got much, no. But I'll probably hear from some city council people in the next couple of days. But yeah.
Good. Fix the ordinance, man.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, when they switched...
I hope they go, why the hell didn't you say something, Zach?
When I first started going to city council meetings, public comment was at the end. And then they moved it to the beginning, and it irritated me because I don't say much. I very rarely say anything in city council meetings. I'm kind of there to observe, and there's not that much controversial stuff that happens. But I do think of things through the meeting, so it's weird to say, oh, yeah, public comments at the beginning, but nothing's happened yet. So what are you commenting on? And this was not mentioned last time. So, yeah, we'll see. Like, so I'm thankful that I don't street park my camper, but I do wonder about times like this, like maybe they should have sat down, like, how do we target this type of behavior, not necessarily these campers, but without applying a law to the entire town, but
I think they can still fix it.
Yeah.
Brian, thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. Final thoughts. AI. No, I'm just kidding. I think, it's important to really focus on the things you can control. It's very easy to get exhausted and overwhelmed by national politics, but it's also just think of it as professional wrestling. It's all kind of fake. A lot of these people are actually friends behind the scenes. I've been on so many phone calls, when I've been on campaigns and stuff, and just to hear the behind the scenes conversations that if I hadn't signed an NDA, I would share all the time. Just some of the stuff you're like, those two people are friends? What? And it catches you so off guard because we see the blood sport side of politics. And when you realize that the entire idea of politics is to get you all fired up and to get you anxious and to fight with other people, it makes more sense. And that's why I always say control what you can control. Focus on, in this case, your local communities, whether it's Rushville or it's Newcastle. We're not going to compare or contrast, right?
We got our shit taken care of.
Each one has their own value. Mr. Bones, no, you're probably right. No, I'm just teasing. But no, I think that's my final thoughts for today.
Mr. Bones?
Everybody be nice to each other. And like Forrest Gump says, I have to pee, so let's go.
Everyone love everyone. Well, I'm going to take 10 or 15 minutes here on my final thoughts then. Monday, Rob Kendall's here.
Yay.
Fun. We have fun.
And we got 2 barrel picks coming in too.
And we're going to drink some bourbon. And that's always our preparing for Thanksgiving show. So have your likes and dislikes and all that stuff. Traditions stuff. Your thing, your take it or leave it. It's all of those. Be prepared.
This is where I want to come alive. Because then I'm done.
We're gonna talk about our perfect Thanksgiving meal. We'll see you Monday.
Go pee, Mr. Bones.